All righty. Okay, let's go to work. Emma Alexander. I should know that because you're my aunt. Would you do me a favor and check your private messages, please? All right, let's go to work here, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to have each and every one of you. I wish I could keep up with the number of countries that we heard represented on tonight's webinar. So whether this is a convenient time for you, or whether it's some of you it might be 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, others of you it might be the next day. We don't take it lightly that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to join with us. I don't mean to talk fast, but we've got a lot to cover. We want to share, obviously, how you can earn up to $25 an hour watching YouTube type videos, and then how we're going to show you how you can scale that to 50 to 100 to 250, maybe $500 an hour or more. And then we're also going to show you how we can scale that to a 6 or a 7-figure business. So that's a mouthful. That's a lot to do in a short period of time. And then we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to do some optional, what I like to call finger paint marketing training. When did we finger paint? When we were in preschool, or we were in kindergarten. So the very basics of what we need to do to build a large-scale enterprise, whether it's with the company that we're going to be talking about tonight, or maybe some other things that you have going on. We want to bring value to you and your family. Okay, let's first talk about YouTube. We're all familiar with YouTube. More than 4 billion video views a day now with YouTube. But if you had seen YouTube when it first started way back in 2005, you probably wouldn't have thought that YouTube would become this colossal giant. It started back February 2005, and it didn't even have its first video loaded until April 2005. Now, I'm going to suggest you do this. I'm going to put this in your chat box here in just a few moments. So I've already gone on and typed in first YouTube video ever posted. We're going to search for that. And you're going to see the very first YouTube ever posted was this YouTube video here, me at the zoo. We're going to click onto that. And this is actually one of the, excuse me, give me a moment. I've got a little tickle in my throat. So I've had a little tickle in my throat for a couple of days, so just bear with me. This was the very first YouTube video ever posted. Now, what I'm going to do is don't go and watch this now, all right? But I am going to post this in your chat, and before we end the webinar, make sure you grab it, and then at your leisure, I want you to watch this video. The reason I want you to watch it is because I think you'll get the sense that if you had seen this video way back in April of 2005 when it was first posted, the very first YouTube video, you never would have thought that YouTube would become this colossal giant that it is. So here's what happened. By the way, that video is only 18 seconds long, and one of the co-founders was at the zoo, and he was talking about, seeing the elephants, and it was just 18 seconds. All right, nothing amazing about that particular video, yet it was the foundation. It was the foundation of what would become a colossal enterprise. So Google wound up buying YouTube. So now Google owns YouTube. Now it took YouTube several years from the time that it was founded in February of 2005 until June of 2007 before it launched in other countries outside of the US. It launched in 9 countries, including the UK. You probably heard on tonight's webinar alone more than 9 countries represented just on our webinar. The system that we're going to talk about is going to pay you up to 25 bucks an hour. Then you're going to scale that to 50 to 100 to 250 to $500 or more. That's if you want to. And then potentially 6 to 7 figures. We're in a pre-launch stage since June, and we already have 66 countries that are in our beta where they're actually able to see some advertisers' content as well as the videos. And we actually have a total of over 100 different countries represented. Now, so let's tell you a little bit about YouTube, all right? And the reason I want to focus on YouTube is because the platform we're going to share with you tonight is most closely associated with YouTube in terms of it being a video sharing platform. Now, take a look at YouTube now All right, and let me just highlight this. YouTube is said to be worth around $100 billion. So here's a company that was founded in February of 2005, 11 years ago, 11 and a half years ago, and 11 and a half years later, it's a $100 billion giant doing somewhere between $9 to $10 billion a year in ad revenue. See, the reality is that YouTube isn't just a video sharing site. You know, when you think of YouTube, you think of a video sharing site, you think of social media. You think of Facebook, you think of social media. You think of Twitter, you think of social media. The reality is all of those systems are really social media in disguise. There really are advertising platforms. Even right now, as I'm on this particular site, this blog, what are you seeing over here happening? What's this? What's this? Advertising is going on. Advertising is all around us. Turn on the TV, you're going to see advertising. Listen to the radio, you're going to hear advertising. Go to your cell phone and play a game or download an app. There's a reason why most of those apps are free or almost free, because they're building large user bases so that they can serve what? Ads. And so what we've done is, we would see a YouTube video. It would be a funny video about cats or funny video about kids, or a lot of people go to get their news now from YouTube or what have you. And then we would send that link off to other people. Hey, watch this video. This is a fun video. This is, what have you. And what we were doing as we were helping YouTube build its base. When we got our Facebook accounts, when we got our Twitter accounts, and then we invited all of our email contacts to connect with us on Facebook or to connect with us on Twitter, what we were doing is we were building their asset, which was their user base, and now they've been serving ads and they have been making the money. All right, so you've got what I like to refer to as the advertising elite. Take a look at Larry Page. This is what I mean by the advertising elite. Who's Larry Page? Who the heck is this dude? Well, this dude is the co-founder of Google, and his net worth is $38.6 billion. That's up from $33.3 billion at the end of 2015. All right, so already this year, his net worth has increased over $5 billion. He's the co-founder of Google. Now, does all of that come from YouTube? Certainly not. YouTube is a property of Google, but a portion of those billions of dollars of net worth are directly linked to YouTube. What about Mr. Brin here? Can't say the first name, don't want to mess it up. He's also a co-founder of Google, $37.8 billion. So two of the co-founders of Google now owning YouTube, are collectively worth almost $80 billion. Almost $80 billion. Why? Because we help to grow their user base, and then they begin to serve ads to those users. And unless you are an owner of Google stock, unless you happen to have a huge channel, and maybe you're doing some type of advertising revenue share with YouTube, that's not the case for most people. They're the elite, all right? They're the elite. Now, so back in June of 2016, just a couple months ago, something came across my desk. It came across my desk on Thursday, I believe it was June the 16th, I believe it was. And it talked about this advertising agency that was going to really change advertising for the average person, meaning that you and I, instead of having to be the elite, we were going to be able to take advantage of this huge advertising pie, the $650 billion advertising pie out there in the marketplace. And this company is called Thwglobal. THW stands for 10 hours weekly, meaning that you and I will be able to view video content, and you'll notice that it looks a lot like YouTube, doesn't it? It looks a lot like YouTube, all right? So a video sharing site, but really it's an advertising platform, all right? We'll go in, we'll register an account for free, just like we registered our YouTube account for free, or just like we registered our Facebook account for free. So you'll register an account for free. As we end this first part of the webinar, for those of you who are guests here for the first time, who haven't already registered an account, You're going to get back to the person who referred you, hide your purse, hide your wallet, hide your credit cards, because we're not asking you for any money. All right, you're going to register your account for free. You're going to tell the system the types of things that you're interested in so that you will have videos that you're interested in. So I like to watch, I'm into politics, I'm into sports, I'm into animals and things of that nature. So I get to watch, you'll get to watch video content that you are interested in, okay? Now I want you to notice, and this was just added last week, I want you to notice there are banner ads up at the top. There are even banner ads down here at the bottom. Now, let's say, for instance, that there's a video that you want to watch, all right? So there's a video I wanted to watch. A dear buddy of mine, unfortunately, his son and daughter lost their house, unfortunately, in the Baton Rouge floods. And so there was a video on the president going down to Baton Rouge. That's not a political statement. That's just what happened. The president went down to Baton Rouge. So I wanted to check out, that particular video. And when I click to check out that video, I want you to see a couple things here. Number one, you'll see now an ad over here to the right. As we scroll down, you'll see an ad down here at the bottom. All right. This is what we've been seeing when we've gone to YouTube. And we had no idea the type of money that a tirebuyer.com or a decorate your house, what kind of money they were paying to have their ads served or to have these impressions. Now, as I went to go watch the video, guess what? Here is an ad. All right, this ad will end in 29 seconds. I'll just play just a little bit. Not sure exactly what the ad is about, but, so here's an ad. We're used to seeing that, right? You've seen that on YouTube. You see that all the time when you go to YouTube. But it never really occurred to me the types of monies that YouTube was generating for those types of advertisements. And so what Thwglobal is saying is, listen, we know we're coming to the game 11 years after YouTube. We know we can't come and just duplicate YouTube and ever hope to really break into or get a major part of the market share. Well, they're only looking for a 1% market share over the next 3 years. And you say only, well, God, it's a $650 billion industry. That'd be $6.5 billion. Not bad, not bad. So what they had to do was they had to come up with an innovative way to get people wanting to share their site and to get people wanting to watch the content so that they could serve advertisements. And what they came up with is, why don't we pay our content users? Those that are going to go and tell people, hey, register a free site and watch some videos. And when you watch videos, there might be a video, there might be an ad before that. Watch the ad. And there might be an ad that pops up over here on the right-hand side based on what your interests are. Check that out. Matter of fact, why don't you just go on and click on that and see what that ad is all about? Because you might be interested in this cost way, and you might maybe man, I need to get some chairs anyway. I was thinking about cabinets and storage or some outdoor furniture, and now you're more likely, if you have a vested interest in what's going on, you're more likely to want to do business with one of these advertisers. Now, doesn't that just make sense? Okay, so now let me show you. So what's been happening is this. All right, you've had the advertising elite getting absolutely fabulously wealthy. At the same time, you've got major financial challenges all across the globe. In the U.S., there was this article that talked about the people that are on welfare. These are folks that have to have the government to come in and assist with whether it's food or whether it's medication or what have you. And it used to be, and I grew up in the U.S. before we went to our Caribbean paradise, it used to be growing up that when somebody was on welfare, you might have looked down on them a little bit, unless they were disabled or they were sick or what have you. If they appeared to be able-bodied, it was kind of like in the back of their mind, dude, go get a job. Do that, go get a job. Well, listen, half of the $152 billion in 2015 that went to welfare went to who? Working families. So dude has a job. Dudette has a job. It's just not enough. And then we saw with our college students, that 22% of our college students, once they graduate, they either can't find a job, they're unemployed, or they're underemployed. So we've got the advertising elite adding to their net worth by the billions of dollars per year, and yet the average Joe, the average Sue, Joe and Susie average, are struggling out there. Then we took a look at the baby boomers who can't afford to retire. This particular article talked about the fact that people are having to work longer and longer and longer, and there's more people in the workforce now, age 65 and older, than there ever has been, because things are just that tight. And this is in what is considered to be the wealthiest country in the world. All right, so now, what we have is we've got THWGlobal saying there's major financial underpinnings that's causing problems for the average Joe and Susie average. At the same time, the advertising elite are becoming more and more and more fabulously wealthy, almost seemingly with each passing day. Is there a way that we can launch a site that kind of models after YouTube? You know, we're not going to be YouTube tomorrow, next week. We know that. All right. But can we make a dent in the financial challenges that people are facing all across the globe and ultimately build what could be a multi-billion-dollar enterprise? So here's what they did. They said, what we're going to do is we're going to pay you to view content. You go and watch videos that are about the interest that you have, and there may be an ad before you watch the video. Watch the ad. There may be banner ads above and below and to the right-hand side. If there's something that interests you, hey, click on it, check it out, so on and so forth. And we're going to pay you up to $25 an hour. Up to $25 an hour to view that content. There's three numbers we want to be mindful of: $25, $5, and $1. So this is the compensation plan. Very simple. Here we go. All right. The 25. All right. So you're going to earn up to $25 an hour for a maximum of 10 hours per week viewing promotional content in the form of videos, but those videos will have some commercials, there'll be some movie trailers, in time there'll be some video surveys and more. Now, the question often comes up, why the up to $25 an hour? Well, here's the reality. You've got people from all across the world that are going to be viewing. But an advertiser advertising to a U.S. audience is going to pay a premium to get in front of a U.S. audience because the incomes are higher than most around the world. An advertiser advertising to, let's say, a Filipino audience there in the Philippines, where the average income is significantly less than the average income of those in the U.S., that advertiser is not going to pay the same rate that an advertiser advertising to U.S. folks is going to pay. And so that's why the up to 25, that's going to be fluid. So just keep that in mind. But even for someone, let's say in the Philippines or Malaysia or Dominican Republic or Dominica or Venezuela that is viewing, even if they're not earning the up to $25 an hour, chances are what they are earning for that hour is maybe significantly more than, you know, the wage they may make working, you know, whatever jobs they may be working in their homeland. All right, so up to $25 an hour for a maximum of 10 hours per week for viewing promotional content in the form of these videos that have the commercials, the movie trailers, video surveys, and more. Okay, now let's talk about $5. What does this mean? Well, there is an optional referral element. Now, I don't care if you haven't been good at referring people in the past. This is one of the reasons why you want to follow what we're doing. This is one of the reasons why at the end of this, we're going to have an optional training, all right, because I want to help you get good. We want to help you get good at building a referral network. And by the way, how much does it cost? Nothing, all right, to join THWGlobal. So that's going to make it much simpler for you. Just the fact that you don't really have to sell anybody anything, have them to register, and they can make money watching the same content. But here's the thing. You're going to earn up to $5 per hour. This is huge. For anyone that you refer to THWGlobal, they register their system for free, all right? They watch an hour's worth of content. They make the up to $25 an hour. You make up to $5 an hour. Now, obviously, that'll be proportional. If they make 25 bucks an hour, you would make the 5. If they made 15 bucks an hour, you'd make the proportion, okay? So now what that means is, what if all of a sudden you had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 folks that are viewing up to 10 hours of content each week? that starts to get really big. I'll show you just how big that could maybe perhaps all of my disclaimers get in just a few moments. All right, so here's an example. All right, so one of our teammates, somebody that's following us very closely, we call this person a Club 100. Club 100 is when you have personally enrolled at least 100 folks that have registered for free. So this person on their first level, meaning people they've personally enrolled, had enrolled 231 folks. And let me give you the potential of what this could mean for them. All right, so now they've enrolled 231 folks. If those 231 folks, if they all just watched 1 hour's worth of content, all right, they could earn up to $5 an hour times the 231 folks watching an hour's worth of content. Ladies and gentlemen, that could be $1,155 per hour. I told you we were going to show you how to go from 25 to scale that up to 50, 100, 250, 500. Well, I've already exceeded that. Now, that's just if they watched 1 hour's worth of content. Each one of these folks can watch up to 10 hours of content each week. All right, if that happened perfectly, we know it's not going to happen perfectly, so we'll give you, more of a what is more possible and probable. All right, but if everybody watched the 10 hours a week, ladies and gentlemen, that would be $11,000 in referral income. You see why you want to build a referral network? All right, essentially from your own personal viewing, if you were earning the $25 an hour and you did that 10 hours a week, that's about $250. You did that 4.33 times a month. And I say that because if you take, there's going to be some months where you have 5 weeks in a month and so on and so forth. All right, so if you did that times 4 weeks out of the month, you're just over $1,000 in potential revenue from your personal viewing. Now, that's good. That's really good, especially if you've never made money online before. That's fantastic. But we're going to show you how to scale that so that you have the potential of this happening. Now, will everybody that you personally refer watch 10 hours a week? I'd love to say it's probable, but it's not. It's not. But this is what I've seen in my business in over 20 years. About 20% of the folks do 80% of are responsible for 80% of the results. So if we said, well, if 20% of this happened, that still wouldn't be a bad week. An extra $2,300 for the week for them viewing content. Where's that money coming from? Because these advertisers are paying out the yin yang to get their message in front of targeted eyeballs. All right, so now we've got the $25, we've got the $5. Let's talk about this little itsy bitsy $1. That can't be much. I don't know. Because what happens is there is a 10-level compensation plan. This is a full-blown referral network that you could build. Everybody sits on top of their own 10 levels. This is you. Anyone that you refer, this is optional. You don't have to. If you don't want to make the extra $5 per hour potential, that's okay. Just view. That's all right. I think, though, that once that starts happening, you're going to want to make the extra $5 an hour for anyone that personally views, up to $5 an hour, anyone that personally reviews because of your referral. All right, so anyone that you refer is on your first level. And so let's say that you referred Tom Neal. All right, Tom Neal's on your first level in this example. And then Tom Neal referred Tanya Shelton. Tanya would be on your second level, and then Tanya Shelton referred Sim Thomas. Sim Thomas would be on your third level, and that would just continue through 10 levels of folks that have registered their accounts for free. Some are viewing 10 hours, some are viewing 1, some are not viewing at all, some are viewing 6 hours, and you would earn up to $1 for everyone in your organization that views an hour's worth of content. Okay, so now here was the same person as they sent this. They were showing me their, what their business had scaled to up to this point. You can see there's 231 on the first level, 1750 on the second, 3,359 on their third. And what they relate to me is that they really haven't started marketing yet. They had a list. They started sharing it with people in their email list, and then some of the people in their email list had a list, and that's kind of how it got going. They're planning on doing some large-scale promotion. So in time, this will have a 0 to it. But let's just deal with these numbers. 16,153 folks. What's the potential? All right. The potential is if everybody just watched 1 hour for the week. Now, the reality is everybody's not going to watch an hour, but you're going to have one dude who's going to watch 10 and one dudette who's going to watch 10 hours and max out. That's going to cancel out 9 people who didn't watch at all. And that'll give you an average of an hour per person in this example, okay? That would be 16 grand for the week. Not for the year, not for the month. The potential is for the week. But wait a minute. That's only if they viewed 1 hour. The fact is they can view 10 hours apiece. I can't put that number here. The FTC would get me on that one because that's such a huge number. And even the 20%, because we don't expect 16,153 folks to all watch 10 hours worth of content. We do expect a percentage of these folks to watch 10 hours. And some others that watch 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or what have you. So if 20% of that number happened, it would still be too big to show. You do the numbers. You do the numbers. 16,153 times the potential of essentially $10 a week, $1 per hour. They can all view 10 hours worth a week. You come up with that number and take 20% of that and see what that could mean. All right. Now, this part here, and we're going to be rounding third in a few moments. This part here is for those of you that want to scale to something like what we just saw. You ultimately want something like this. I'm not asking you to believe for it right now. I'm not asking you to go out and talk to all your family and friends and all that other stuff right now. Okay, I'm not asking for all that. If you see this and you see the potential of this, and you say, you know what? Yeah, I would like to. I'd like to make 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month. Man, 25,000 a month. I'm behind on retirement. I got some catching up to do. 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month. If that's you, you want to make more than just $1,000 a month doing your own viewing. You want to build a large scale network. If that's you, in your questions box, put a Y for yes. I want to make a lot more money than $1,000 a month. If that's you, put a Y. And oh my gosh, will you take a look at that? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So Clifton, all right, here's how we're going to help you get there. Even if you've tried marketing before and you have been unsuccessful, even if you've tried marketing before and you fell flat on your face, even if you have failed at everything you tried to do online, here's how we're going to help you get there. Okay. All right, so I want you to raise your right hand, and I want you to take what we call the 10-hour pledge. My right hand is raised. I'm taking the 10-hour pledge. The 10-hour pledge is very simple. It only has 2 tenets. Tenet number 1 says you're going to pledge, right hand extended, you're going to covenant to maximizing your viewing income by maxing out the number of hours you can view, which is 10 hours a week. Now, let me say this real quickly. Right now, we're in a soft launch. So right now, we're not viewing for pay. So I'm not expecting you to view 10 hours a week right now, given that we're not viewing for pay. Right now, we're in what they call a beta test. They wanted to get a sense of how many people would actually view on a consistent basis so they could go back to their advertisers and start hammering out their contracts and all that other good stuff. All right. So right now, maybe you're just going to view 20, 30 minutes a day. I would ask you to at least do that. But once we've gone live and we're getting paid to view, you are committing to maxing out your viewing time. Now, what you'll make is going to vary from region to region, country to country. It's not so much what you make that we're interested in. It's you maxing out those 10 hours. Okay? All right? All right, so those of you that will agree to do that, in your questions box, put an A. I agree. I will max out my 10 hours. Put an A. I agree. I will max out my 10. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, so that's the first tenet of the pledge. Second tenet of the pledge is this. Now, whatever you make from your viewing income, if you're in the U.S., if you made $250 for the week, $1,000 for the month, if you're in another part of the world and you made what would be in U.S. dollar terms $500-$600 for the month, whatever that number is, all right, from your viewing, you're going to take a minimum of 50% of that, maybe as much as 100% if your budget will allow. And you're going to take that viewing income, and that will be your marketing seed. You're not going to eat that seed. You're not going to spend that seed on doodads. You're going to take that marketing budget, and you're going to get the tools, the resources, and ultimately you're going to start driving high quality traffic, paid traffic, which is the only type of traffic you can really start to depend on. And when I say traffic, I mean visitors going to your site. So if you're part of the NFL club, no friends or family left, when you go on Facebook, all of your friends log off, we've got your back, because we're going to share with you a number of places that you can go and get high quality, laser targeted traffic with your marketing seed, your marketing budget. Plus you'll have certain tools and certain resources to help you to build out your business. One of the reasons you've been unsuccessful, if you've been unsuccessful in building a business, is because in most cases you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the resources, you didn't have the consistent high quality laser targeted traffic going to your offers. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into our training in just a few moments. All right, so if those of you that say, hey, I can do that, I'm going to view a maximum, the maximum amount, and then I'm going to take a minimum of 50%. Some of you might be tight right now. You need some money, so that's why we give you that minimum there, all right, or as much as 100%, but that's going to be my marketing seed. Off the top, boom, I'm reinvesting that, recapitalizing that back in my business. If that is you, put a P, meaning I am a pledger. I pledge, the 10-hour pledge. Yeah, there my P's, there my P's, there my P's. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that seed's going to get you the tools and the resources to help you build a long-term sustainable business, including THW Global. And then ultimately, as you start to scale that and you start generating referral income, you're going to take a percentage of that, reinvest that back in your business. Then ultimately, you're going to have other streams of income. So you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And then again, you're going to start eventually consistently driving high quality laser targeted traffic, visitors to your website. And we're going to transition in just a few moments to a little bit of training so you'll understand this and why the pledge is so important in just a few moments. Now, let me show you how to get registered. Excuse me, let me mute out for just a moment. I got a little coughing to do here. Okay, sorry about that. All right, give me a moment. Let me get a little swig of water. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to get back to the person that referred you to tonight's webinar. Now, I've set up a test account here so that I can actually walk you through the registration process. Whoops, give me a moment. Bear with me. Where'd you go? Okay. All right, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to get back to the person who referred you. They're going to send you their referral link. If you're new and you just registered and you've never sent out your referral link, then what you're going to do is you're going to send out your HTTP : all that good stuff, your username .thwglobal.com. Okay. All right. So I've set up a test account. We're going to register through this test account. You should see the person that is registering you. You should see their name at the top right. They may be using a business name or what have you. So you want to make sure you're registering with the right person. Then you're going to click where it says register now. That's simple. Register now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fill out this information here. And I'm doing a dummy account here. You'll put in your actual real information. RAS third. Let's do an email address. I need let's do RAS. I'm selecting a username. Then you're going to select the password. Now I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't do that. Put a real password in there, okay? And make sure you make a note of your password. All right. I've gotten some folks that say, "Hey, I forgot what my password is." Well, make sure you make a note of your password. The system's going to automatically give you your website name, and then you're going to choose whatever country you happen to be in. I'll just put in. It's going to be a lot of folks from all over the place. I'll put in United States here, and then you're going to register. It's just that simple. See, now you're registered. Now you're registered, and when you do that, you're going to have this link that says click here to access your account. You're going to left click there to access your account. And there you are. You are in THW Global. Now, a couple things that you want to do. And for those of you that are already in THW Global, if you did not notice this when you log in, there is up here at the top, it says, in order to remain active, you need to subscribe to THW Global notifications. This is a push notification system so that if THW Global is sending out a message, it'll come right there to your computer or to your cell phone. Make sure you just click here to subscribe and then allow. And over at the bottom right, you're going to see right there. You see right there? Right there, it says I am subscribed. Okay. All right. So go on. If that's in your back office, go on and make sure you do that. All right. So you've registered. You've registered for the push notifications. Now you're going to go where it says Survey Center. Survey Center. You're going to hit demographic survey, and then I can click that there. All right. And then you're going to take this survey. All right, take this survey. Are you male or female? What's your age, race, all this other good stuff. And then it's going to get into the things that you're interested in. Now, what you want to do is you want to check off everything that you or any family member might be interested in. Anything that you or a family member might be interested in, okay? So you're going to check all the things that apply, and then you're simply going to click way down here where it says Submit Survey. All right, I won't do that so I can use this test again. And once you've done that, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to come up here to where it says Message Center. And there's going to be a message from THW Global. And you're going to read that message. And this is where you're going to have your referral links right here. They give you 3 referral links. You can just use one. You don't have to use all 3. They all do the same thing, and that simply allows you to register other people into THW Global. So very quickly, you register for free, 1. Number 2, when you came into the system, there was that message for you to register for their push notifications. All you had to do was click to register and then click allow. It was just that simple. Then you came to your survey center. You did your survey. It takes about 5 minutes to do the survey. And then you go back here and you get your referral links from the message center from the message that you have from THW Global. Okay? All right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're now going to transition into what I like to refer to as finger paint training. What I want my guests to do, those of you who are here for the first time, is just retrace your steps. However you got here. If someone sent you an email, email them back saying, hey, send me your registration link. If they didn't already do so, perhaps they've already done so. And if they've already done so, then just go on and get registered and follow through with what I just showed you. If you don't have their link just yet, then retrace your steps. How do they get information to you? Do they Facebook you? Do they Skype you? Do they text you? You know, text them back. Facebook them back, Skype them back and say, hey, I need your registration link, okay? And do me a favor, don't register with anybody else. Register with that person. That's the person that brought you to the dance, all right? If you were inviting someone to this webinar and we were saying get back to the person who referred you, you would want them to get back to you. So let's plant the right seed so that we can get the right harvest because the universal laws are always applicable. All right, now with that being said, give me a moment. Let me get ready for our training here. All righty. All right. We are recording this, by the way. And I tell you what, the first thing, let me do this first. In your chat box, I am going to give you our recordings from last week. We do 2 webinars a week. We do a Tuesday night webinar, just like what you've just seen, where we present the opportunity, and then we go into an optional, what I like to refer to as finger paint training. And then on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., that's all training. And the focal point on Thursday nights, at least for the foreseeable future, is to focus that training on Okay, focus that training on the mobile marketing platform that we're going to be launching here real soon. We just have a few loose ends to tie up, and once those loose ends are tied up, then we'll be launching that. So that could be any day now. We'll definitely keep you apprised of that. All right, so let's go to work here. Let's go to work. All right, so let's talk first off about why marketers fail. Because if we can understand the 5 reasons that marketers fail, and then we can address these 5 reasons, then we can start checking off the column. Okay, here's one reason that people fail. Let me make sure I'm doing the opposite of that. Here's a second reason people fail. Let me make sure I'm doing the opposite of that. So the 5 key reasons that marketers fail, number 1, is they neglect their biggest asset. Your biggest asset is not your offer. And you will find no more passionate being about THW Global than yours truly, because finally, people are going to be able to generate some money, even if they're not good at marketing, but then they're going to be able to take a portion of them of that income and convert it into a marketing seed so they can start building a long-term sustainable business. Now, with that being said, one of the biggest challenges is that people neglect their biggest asset. You are your biggest asset. All right, your business is not your offer. THW Global is an offer. All right, and we're excited to promote that offer, but that's not your business. All right, your business is you and your following. So one of the things I want you to commit to is working on you every day. Working on your business, that would be you, not just Sheila in your business. Working on your business, that would be you, Vanetta, not just in your business. One of the things you want to consider doing is if you're like me, so I'm in front of the computer for hours a day working in my business, but I like to start my day off working on my business first. Normally I'll go to YouTube, and there's a few voices that really speak to me, resonate with me, challenge me, so on and so forth. And so just like this morning, I had my list of to-dos, and my first list of to-do was to work on me. All right, to work on my business. So I want you to do that on a daily basis. Now, some of you can't do it watching a YouTube video. Maybe you're going back and forth to work and you're commuting in your car. Turn your automobile into a university. Find some MP3s. Find some empowering CDs, something that's going to speak to you and challenge you to become a better person. All right, we're not just talking about rah-rah, superficial rah-rah stuff. We're talking about stuff that will challenge you to become a better person, because that shows up in your marketing. Number 2, most people do not have a funnel-based system. Now, most network marketers don't really even know what a funnel is. We don't have time to really cover that tonight. We cover that in detail on our Thursday night webinars. But suffice it to say that a funnel-based system is going to allow you to you get traffic to that system, and the system does most of your heavy lifting. It does the presenting. It does the educating. You're not having to do any selling. You're driving people to the system. Now, what we just did, while it's powerful, the live webinar concept, it isn't the most efficient way to build your business. Continue to come to our live webinars. We love seeing you come to our live webinars. If you didn't come, I wouldn't do them, right? We keep seeing larger and larger and larger audiences, so we're going to keep doing it. And I love doing these things. But from an efficiency building standpoint, we want to have a system that presents for us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because while it is maybe a convenient time if you're in the U.S. on the East Coast, it might not be a convenient time if you're in Australia. It might not be a convenient time if you're in Germany or what have you. So you need to have a system that does the presenting, it does the sorting and the sifting, so that it kicks out the tire kickers, the people that aren't really serious. You don't even spend time with folks that aren't serious. You're no better than them, but you got to protect your time, which is your biggest asset, is you. All right, and your time. All right, so a funnel-based system, that's what we're launching with our mobile marketing platform. Not long after that, we'll be launching our, what we call the funnel blueprint. That's another funnel-based system that is more in terms of you building an email list. Ultimately, you want to have both. You want to build an SMS text list, mobile list, and you want to build an email list. Then most people don't have a responsive list. All right, now here is your biggest asset outside of yourself. And that's your list. You've probably heard it said that the money is in the list. The reality is the money is in a responsive list. Now, this is where you get into building a long-term sustainable business. Salita, because you're going to be promoting an offer, all right? And that offer's doing good today, is doing well today, and at some point, that offer is going to stop converting for whatever reason. It could be that there's been some saturation. It could be that the people behind that offer have decided not to continue with that offer. It could be that the company sold out. And so when I'm saying this, I know we just came off a THW Global presentation. I'm not saying that. I'm not directing that to THW Global. That's just me having been in the industry for 20 plus years. And I've seen great companies, great offers come and go. So that's why I say the offer, the product, the service, the income opportunity, the network marketing deal is not your business. All right? It's an extension of your business. You want to have a responsive list. You can control that. You can control your list building. You can control adding people to your list. You can control working on you. Those are the two things that you're in control of. You and building your following. You and building your following. And most then do not have compelling offers. Now, so a lot of people promote stuff and they're not really speaking to the emotions, the desires, the pain of the target market. Now, one of the great things about THW Global, when it is packaged properly, it speaks to the pain of our market. What's the pain of our market? And most folk ain't making money. Most people in network marketing, most people in affiliate marketing, most people, a lot of people that aren't in marketing and they just need to make some money. They're not making money. They need to make some extra money. And so we've got this compelling offer that says, hey, even if you're not good at marketing just yet, you can generate a few $100s, maybe $1,000 or more. No, by the way, if you have anybody else in your household that's 18 or above, get them registered. All right? If it's you and you're married, get your spouse registered. If it's you and a significant other, get the significant other registered. If it's you and some grown children, get the grown children registered, okay? Because then all of you, in my case, it's 4 of us, all of us can view up to 10 hours a week. And if we made $25 an hour and we made $1,000 per person, that's an extra $4,000 in our household, all right? That's compelling. Most people don't have compelling offers, or they don't know how to frame their offer so that it becomes compelling. And then number 5, most don't know how to drive high quality, laser targeted traffic. When we talk about traffic, we're talking, Stephen, about getting visitors to your site. But it's not just getting visitors to your site, it's getting visitors really to a funnel-based system that's going to sort and sift, that's going to allow you to capture the lead so you can start to build a list. Today, it was very interesting. I saw somebody who was actually doing some paid traffic for THW Global. I went into Google, I typed in THW Global, and there was an ad. So somebody is actually paying to be, on that home page. When you went to Google, there was somebody who had an ad. Well, I clicked on it. I didn't really want to because I knew that they were going to be charged. But I went to their site. I'm expecting them to have a lead capture page, then to take me to their registration page. No, they took me straight to their registration page. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't just drive people to the registration page unless they're already in your list and now you're sending them your registration link like we told you to do, sending out your registration link to those that are going to be on the webinar and what have you. But in this case, here's a person that's dealing with cold traffic. They're paying to have their ad seen. Someone clicked onto the link. They paid. I don't know what they paid. All right, probably not a lot just yet, but they paid to have their ad seen. But then all they did was they sent someone to their sign-up page. Well, the reality is most people aren't going to buy from you. Most people are not going to join you the first time they see and or hear your message. This is why it's important that you have some type of lead capture mechanism where you're gathering the lead. You're capturing that lead so you can start building a responsive list. They may not join you today, but if you are doing a good job of communicating with that list, which is a totally different thing that we'll talk to you about and how we're going to assist you in communicating value to your list. All right. By the way, How many of you right now, in your questions box, talk to me, how many of you right now, when you get our post, because you're in our email list and you're getting our push notifications, how many of you take that information from time to time and forward it to your team or to your prospects so that you can provide value? If you're not doing that, you need to. There's a reason why you've never heard me mention my name. Those of you who are new to me, to our following, you don't know me. You don't know my name. All you hear is Doc. Now, of course, I see my buddy Norm Scott, who's been with me for years and years and years. Yeah, he knows my name. There's a reason why I don't say my name, so that people can leverage this content to bring value to their list to help you build your business, whether you're in my business, in my 10 levels or not, because I understand the laws of the universe. All right, so these are the 5 reasons why marketers fail. Now, so I classify marketers in 3 different groups, all right? Beginner marketers. Now, who's a beginner marketer? Somebody who's making less than $5,000 a month in your enterprise, all right? Now, you might be saying, but, you know, I've been in marketing for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. What we're finding is that as people come online, even if they have had great success offline, this whole online thing is different. The principles of building Zeke and Jerry are the same, but the methods are different. Zeke and Jerry, for years, what have you guys been in the industry? 30 years, 40 years? For years, I know you taught, hey, person joins and they start to fill out a prospect list. So the principle is you need to have a list. Offline, it used to be, fill out a prospect list, people that you know, people that you go to worship service with, people that you work with, people you went to school with. Fill out your list, fill out your list. All right. The principle is to have a list. When you come online, the method of developing that list is different. We're not necessarily writing a list of everybody that we know. What we're doing is we're looking to go to drive traffic so people will opt into a list. That now becomes our list. All right. So if you're making less than $5,000 a month, we're going to consider you a beginner marketer, no matter how long you've been actually marketing. Typically, beginner marketers have little to no email list, little to no SMS text list. And so if you are a beginner marketer, that's okay. We need to identify that. And then we want to move you from beginner marketer status to the intermediate status and then to what we really want to be. And then we'll share with you what we should be focusing on to build our business. All right. Now, what beginner marketers typically are challenged with is the opportunity merry-go-round, particularly in the network marketing space, because there's always a new launch of something. There's something launching this week, something launching next week. There's always a shiny object, so on and so forth. And so what tends to happen is that beginner marketers don't really have a clear path. What should I be doing? And so what they often fall into is chasing the comp plan. They're chasing the comp plan because somebody said this is the best comp plan since sliced bread. Well, every comp plan is the best comp plan since sliced bread. I've been in this industry for 20 years, and it's very rare that you get on a webinar, you don't hear someone talking about this is the best comp plan, you know, whatever. Yeah, everyone is. The bottom line is this. Every company, every system can only pay out so much money. Typically, 35 to 50% of the revenues. There are some systems out there that say they pay out 100% of the revenues, so on and so forth. All right. But what happens is beginner marketers, they kind of get in this, I don't really have a clear path. And so I jump on this one and then I jump on that one and then I jump on that one. And because they think it's the deal, they think it's the offer that's going to make the difference. And offers are important, particularly if they're framed properly, particularly if you have a list, all right? But if you've got no list, then the offer doesn't matter as much. Now, the difference with THWGlobal is that you can make some money once we go live without having a list. But this is why I don't want you to settle on being a beginner marketer. I want you to go further. You're going to get some viewing income, take 50%, as much as 100% of that, and reinvest that back into your business so you can start building a list. And ultimately, let's move you from beginner marketer status to intermediate marketer. And this is where I was for years and years and years. Well, I was making decent money, all right, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Some intermediate marketers make even more than that, okay? But the problem was that I wasn't consistently list building. I wasn't investing on a weekly basis or a monthly basis a percentage of my revenues back into paid traffic to build my second most important asset, which was my list. Okay. And this is where a lot of network marketing leaders are. They're making good money, but they're not focused on the real business, which is them and their following. And so I want you to get this list building message. A lot of times what happens also here is people might be building a list, but they don't really have the quality of the list, because I did this for years. I half-heartedly built a list only because, Tim, nobody taught me this stuff the way I'm sharing it from an elementary level. Now, ultimately, when I went and I started paying for a lot of mastermind classes, I started learning this stuff, but I had to pay thousands of dollars to start learning this stuff. All right, we want to give this information to you. Okay, so what I was doing is I would have a list. All right, let's say I'm promoting ABC Network Marketing Company, and I had some people that joined me, and we had them in an email list, and maybe they had some other folks in the email list, and so on and so forth. And typically what I would do is I would only send out an email to tell people, hey, we've got a webinar. I wasn't sending out any more valuable information. Now what I do is, yes, we'll say we have a webinar, but I'm always making sure that I'm sending out something of value. Sometimes that's a training message. Sometimes that's a video that's just meant for you to go on a mental vacation break. Let's go to the Canary Islands for 5 or 6 minutes just to kind of get away. All right, that still brings value to people. People look forward to those. Sometimes it's a comedy message where I found a clean comedian, and hey, we send that out to get you laughing or what have you. And so we've learned now not to only build our list consistently, but to communicate with that list value on a consistent basis. Most of intermediate marketers' incomes comes from one source. Once again, this was me. So back in 2011, 2012, we were promoting an offer that was absolutely a kick butt offer in the revenue sharing space. Many of you are familiar with that. It started with a Z, and that company absolutely kicked butt. And we made more money than we'd ever made at any point in our marketing history. But the problem was almost all of our income was coming from that one source. And then that company had some regulatory issues, and it ceased to be. So what happened to that money? Even though it was a substantial amount that we were making, it was gone. Now, what we want to do is we want to ultimately have multiple streams of income across multiple niches. All right, so let's say you get to the point where you're making $30,000 a month. Fantastic. All right. Well, the reason I'm so excited about THWGlobal is well before you get to $30,000 a month, you should have marketing seeds, right? You should have tools and resources. See, once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. But once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. So for instance, once you understand list building, all right, and you understand a funnel-based system, all right, then what will happen is, let's say you've got a funnel-based system. Of course, we're launching 2 of them to help you promote THWGlobal. Good, fantastic. Got a funnel-based system. You're building a list. You are starting to generate some money from your viewing income. You're starting to build a team. You're starting to get some referral income. You're going to reinvest a portion of your referral income, not 100%, all right, not unless you just want to be very aggressive. A minimum of 25% of your referral income. So if you made $5,000 in referral income, you want at least 25% going back into your business. A lot of that's going to go in advertising, paid traffic, so on and so forth. Okay. But then once you understand this, you're going to say, well, wait a minute. All right. I've got my THWGlobal business, going. I've got automated traffic going to my site. All I got to do is go and buy some traffic. I don't have to necessarily learn how to get traffic to my site. I go and buy the traffic. I'm sending people to a system. The system's doing most of the heavy lifting for me. Now I can turn over and look for another a system that does most of the heavy lifting for me. Now I can take a portion of my marketing budget and I can build out a campaign for that particular offer. I don't even have to bother with my THW Global folks. I don't have to try to re-recruit them necessarily. I certainly don't have to cross-recruit because I now know how to build a list, because I now know about paid traffic. Here's this other offer over here, and it's got a great a funnel-based type system. Let me now add that to my income-producing portfolio. That starts making money. All right, you take a portion of that, and now you go with a third, and then a fourth. See, what happened when I started going to these masterminds is I started meeting these 8-figure producers that had 7 and 10 and 15 and 20 different income streams across different niches. So if one income stream dried up, well, they had all these other income streams, and it didn't upset the apple cart. It didn't upset their lifestyle. And so what happens is the enemy of great is good. So we were doing really good back with that revenue sharing company, but we didn't understand this. And then all of a sudden the door shut and that income stream was completely cut off. Now, you know, we were able to start doing some other things, but man, if we had known then what we know now, we would have already had multiple streams. We wouldn't have had to feel like we had to start all over. And more importantly, our folks would have had multiple streams, and they wouldn't have had to start all over because they would have had a list. They would have had a responsive list. And then if they wanted to share a new offer or what have you, they would already have a list of people ready to take advantage of that offer. 10 more minutes, okay? 10 more minutes. We're going to go to 15 past. All right, so ultimately what we want is we want to move you to a polished marketing entrepreneur where you're ultimately making over 10 grand a month, but it's not all coming from one source. You've got a constant flow of high quality, laser targeted, personalized leads. When I say personalized there, you'll understand that a little bit more when you really start to get our mobile marketing system, because that's really where you can build some bonds with your list, okay? Multiple streams of income across different niches. And the reason that's important, now, for instance, let's say you're in network marketing, okay? Now, that's one huge niche. Within network marketing, there are a number of different niches. Now, we have the advertising niche, which is what we're in with THWGlobal. There's the weight loss niche. There's the beauty and skincare niche. There's the telecommunications niche. All right, so maybe it's still in the network marketing arena because I love that business model, by the way. All right, but it may be a totally different niche. Maybe it's in the cryptocurrency niche, in the precious metals niche, so on and so forth. And again, once you become a polished marketing entrepreneur, you can have these other niches without having to gut your existing team. Some leaders won't want to go to their existing team and say, hey guys, I just added this over here, because they don't want their folks to lose focus on what they're doing. And some of you may be in companies right now where you've got a team and you've attained a leadership position, and you know you got to be careful because your company may be more old school, and you know there's some companies out there that really, as you get to certain leadership levels, you can only promote that one thing. Okay, well, tell you so you may not want to go back to your folks. All right, so what I'm saying is that as you follow what we teach, you'll be able to set up totally separate campaigns that has nothing to do with your existing list, has nothing to do with your existing folks, even if it's another network marketing opportunity. And if you employ a funnel-based system, it doesn't even have to have your name on it. Look, I'm doing all these webinars, and the only people that know who I am are the ones that have followed me intimately for years. All right. And then we want to make sure you know then how to scale your business. Here's a quick scaling idea. Quick scaling. All right. So 50% to 100% of your viewing income going back into your business in the form of getting the tools, the resources, and the paid traffic. Okay. Then as you start to build your referral network, a minimum of 25% of your referral network income, meaning you've referred a few folks, now you're getting up to $5 an hour. They referred some folks, you're getting up to $1 an hour, so on and so forth. By the way, here are the numbers to that. For everyone you personally refer, they could be worth up to $200 a month. That $5 an hour times 10 hours a week times 4 weeks out of a month. Every person you refer, without them being on autoship, without them being on a monthly subscription, could be worth $200 a month. Anybody in your 10-level organization, without them being on autoship, without them being on a monthly subscription, could be worth up to $40 a month. That's why this THWGlobal model is so compelling. So here's a way to scale that business. All right, so now all of a sudden you're making $1,000 a month from referral. No, let's say $2,000 a month from your referral income. All right, so you would take your 50% to 100% of your viewing income. That's always your marketing seed. All right, then you take a minimum of 25% of your referral income. In our example, $2,000 that month. You take 25% minimum, $500. Now you've got more marketing money. Maybe more advertising, more traffic generation money, so on and so forth. You still put in that example $1,500 in your pocket. The whole idea is to scale your business even more so that $2,000 a month becomes $20,000 a month. And now you're still going to do the same thing. 25% of that is going to be a $5,000 monthly budget now from your referral income. So what's happening? You're getting more visitors to your site. You're getting more people opting into your site. You're building a larger list. Okay? All right. All right, so here's marketing in a nutshell. You want to drive high quality, laser targeted traffic, not to your THWGlobal page. You want to drive them to a capture page where you can capture that lead to begin to build that list. The list is more important than the sale. The list is more important than the singular recruit. Hear me. The list is more important than the sale. The list is more important than the singular recruit. Why do I say that? Because I look at Vernetta Johnson on the webinar. Vernetta and I have been in business in some form or fashion together since 2003. 13 years. When I first met Vernetta, she wasn't on my team. We were in the same company, building the same enterprise. We were what we call cross-line. She was not on my team, okay? But since I've come online in 2008, Vernetta has followed me. Sometimes it was a product that we were recommending. She would buy. Sometimes it was a network marketing opportunity that we were in. She would join. So Vernetta has contributed to my household income since in 2003 when I first met her, or 2004. I was with that company in 03. I don't know if we met in 03 or 04. That wasn't generating any revenue for my bottom line because she was cross-line. But ultimately, when I started doing other stuff and I came online, she followed me. Well, I've made a lot more money because of Vernetta. Thank you, Vernetta. I love you. Because of her being in my list than just getting that one-time sale, just getting that one-time recruit. And so that's what we want to have happen for you, is where you are building your list and you're bonding with that list so that now when an offer comes across your email, your desk, and you do a little due diligence and you say, and this is exactly what happened on THWGlobal. When it came across our desk on June 16th, there was no video site for us to see at the time. We hadn't seen any ads or anything like that. We just saw a simple one-page document that talked about what they were looking to accomplish. It was free. We weren't sure if it was crap or if it was gold. That's why we said preparing for the gold rush. I sent out an email and I said, hey guys, I don't know if this thing is crap or gold, but it's free, register. And I'm going to do a webinar with it tonight. This was on a Thursday, I think June the 16th. We did an impromptu webinar, had a few hundred folks come onto the webinar, and all of a sudden that started people joining with us and what have you. This is before there was anything that I showed you today. It all started because we had a what? We had a list. But not just a list, a responsive list. So marketing in a nutshell is driving traffic so that you build a list, not just driving traffic to anything. You want to drive traffic to where you can capture the lead. So you build a list, you bond with a list by providing consistent, valuable content to that list. And you don't have to be the content creator. There's so much content out there that you can find out on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me just show you something real quick. I'm going to go over just a little bit, all right? Just a little bit, because I want to show this to you. I'm going to show you real quickly a powerful way for you to get content. It's all around you. All right. I just put up, jot this down. FLV.com. FLV.com. This is a free download. Okay. FLV.com. FLV.com. All right. And this is a free download. You want it, this is the middle one is the one that you want. FLV.com downloader. Simply download it for free. All right. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. Now they'll try to upsell you on an annual subscription, which is like $12 or $15. It's not that much, but you don't even need that. Okay. Now here's what you do with this. Here's what you do with this. It's going to wind up being on your. Oh. All right. There we go. Okay. So make sure you save it to your desktop. Okay. And then what's going to happen is, what this will allow you to do is to download videos from YouTube and from Vimeo. All right, now you want to make sure that you're only downloading things that are not going to have any type of copyright issue. You don't want any copyright issues. All right, and so what happens is, let's say you saw a great personal development, personal empowerment video on YouTube. All right, and you know it's no copyright infringement or what have you. You just put in the YouTube URL right here, and you click download. And that you tell the system where you want to save that on your computer, or you know, wherever you want to save it. And now all of a sudden you've got that particular video on your hard drive. Now you can upload that to your own YouTube channel, and you can send that link out to your list. So you don't even have to be the content creator. You don't even have to be the content creator. When I'm sending out a comedic video, I didn't create that content. When I'm sending out a personal development video, I didn't create that content. I simply found quality content, no copyright infringement, and I sent that out to my list, and that helps me to bond with my list. That one little tip, how many of you see how that one little tip can help you really start to bond with your list? That one tip that I just shared with you. Thank you, Jose. Jose was saying take your time. See, and listen, so if you got anything, and we've got to finish up, we'll do a few questions and answers here. If you got anything out of what we've done tonight, we hadn't even started. We hadn't even started, okay? So make sure you get back to the person who invited you to tonight's webinar. Make sure you're registered for THW Global, all right? Let me give you one other call to action. So you register for THW Global. All right, you register for THW Global. Then make sure that you, of course, you go through and you take the survey. You get your referral links. Now, you also want to make sure you register for our webinar series. That's THWGlobalWebinar.com. I need to make sure you understand that I'm not THW Global. I'm not an owner. I'm not an insider. I'm a rep like you. They call us international viewers, IVs. I'm an IV just like you. We've just built very large organizations, and we've gone to a lot of mastermind training, and we want to bring as much value to our audience as we possibly can. We use this URL because it was available, all right? But please don't think I'm not support or any of that kind of stuff, all right? You want to register for our webinar series. You'll know every live webinar that we're doing. We also send out webinar recordings. So we've recorded tonight. We'll send this webinar recording out in a few days, so you have that. And then you want to get all of your folks also registered for the webinar series. You know, if there's some major news that comes out about THW Global, we'll normally cut a video and we'll send that out as well. Then we'll send out some other trainings throughout the week designed to bring value to you, bring value to your audience. So you can start. What I'm wanting you to get when you're getting these emails from us is, oh, this is how you bond. This is how you bond. He's bonding. He's bonding. That dude is bonding, okay? Because that's ultimately what you want to be doing, is bonding, 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 so that when you now send out a promotional message, join me or buy from me or what have you, that people do it. Now, we will never send out any join me or buy from me kind of stuff to this list, because a lot of people that are in this list came from you, didn't come from my own efforts. Okay. We do business presentations on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like what you've seen, a combo webinar. And then on Thursdays, we do 8 p.m. and that's all training. Right now, we're talking about mobile marketing. That's a mobile marketing platform that we are going to be soon launching to promote THW Global. Okay. All right. Let's see. Also, when you go, that just like with THW Global, we have a push notification system. Notification system. It's going to ask you, do you want to allow? Go on and click allow. Anytime we send out an email to this list, we're also going to send out a push notification. That way, if the email gets lost in spam or what have you, you'll have that push notification right there on your phone or right there on your computer. So we're able to connect with you. Okay. All right. Now listen, what I'm going to do is we're going to do some optional Q&A, but first thing I need to go and do is I need to go and check on my wife. She's got a compression fracture in the back, unfortunately. And so until she has some surgery that's coming up soon, she's not as mobile. So I need to just make sure that she's fine. I'm gonna run downstairs, make sure she's okay. Then I'm gonna come up and take about 15 minutes of Q&A. Go on and start putting questions in now. Queen had another engagement, so I don't think she's on with me right now. So go and put your questions in. I'll be right back, get a little water, and I'll be back to answer as many questions as we can in that 15-minute time frame.